test
Let's
of
go.
endurance
Game kedua.
and mental fortitude, of
Navi
course.
versus
Navi PH on the
Gaimin
brink of being
Gladiator.
eliminated in MWI 2025, and Gaming Gladiators so close into bringing that North American dream of securing their journey in this league. Here we go, a lot of folks early game. Brigida, honestly, how do you feel about this hero composition for both teams?
For Navi PH, I'm gonna start off with this lineup. I'm feeling really excited. I know it's not the common mid-duo we see nowadays in terms of the meta, but I feel like it can apply so much pressure. It can allow and support so much of their teammates in whatever they want to do. And unlike earlier, I'm hoping that it doesn't have so much conditions for it to work, because earlier clearly it was different. There wasn't that great of a distribution in terms of damage. It was mostly on crowd control, as mentioned on our panel, but now this is clearly different. Hopefully this is different for them, but not Gaimin Gladiators too. We're so close to seeing them actually get there, as you mentioned, to that, making that dream come true.
Yeah, I would agree. And I think for Navi PH, this is just more in the comfort heroes. If I'm not mistaken, Mirai has been using Grok for a very long time.
Yep.
Even during the MWI qualifiers from last year. So, yep, it's a comfort versus a team that is more on the aggressive side now. But if we look at the emblem sets for Gaming Gladiators, they just really want to burst majority of the heroes from a Navi PH. You have the emblem, you have the support emblem also, or talent for the Esmeralda. And I think, I don't know if you would agree with me, but Arya's hero is going to be the X factor here for GG, because it is meant to actually counter out the Angela, which is supposed to be the X factor for Navi PH.
Yep. But the thing is, it feels like even though there is that passive and all that, the possibility of the shields being taken up by Gaming Gladiators through Arya, it doesn't change the fact that Navi PH, they're frontliners, they're just too tanky. So you have to ask and you have to see who among Gaming Gladiators would be assigned to potentially being able to supply the necessary damage to deal with those frontliners, because if not, then this is a much more freer game for Shinoa. And speaking of, it seems like Navi PH might be starting things right now. There's the hard guard in the Black Dragon form, and they might just be able to find their first target. We're talking about Arya, and she's now very low, but she actually escapes thanks to that Purify.
Yep, and we can see right now that for Nicolette, she's actually seen by Shinoa and about 2 players more from Navi PH at the top lane, able to survive. So that was a nice escape for Nicolette. And I think was she able to get to that purple buff of KC?
Yep, she was.
That is mission accomplished for Nicolette during that time. So it's just her limiting the resources of KC, and you don't really want that to happen against Ibaksha. But things are looking good still for Navi PH. They have the control in terms of that because they control the river side. They know where Nicolette is. So Navi PH, as long as they're able to continue this type of information that they have, then it's going to be good for them.
And it will be good for them if they take out Arya. And that finally happens for Navi PH. It's first blood for them. I feel like this is one of the crucial players you need to deal with in the early game, and they do just that. So this might drastically change the outcome of this game if Navi are able to maintain this tempo.
Yep, so true, because I remembered when I said that Keishi doesn't really want those resources being taken by Gaming Gladiators, and I looked at the hero. She doesn't really need those items, but so far, Navi PH is still continuing on that aggression. There's a trade this time around, or Navi PH was able to replicate that steal for the buff. So for this game, it feels like for Navi PH, they kinda knew what to do against the Gaming Gladiators. But in 10 seconds, we have another objective. By the way, Shinoa has also expect later on that we might see a 4-1 setup, probably 5-man setup for Navi PH.
Phantom execution already committed. But Nicolette, she might just put herself in danger, forced to go away, actually defending the rest of her teammates. But this is some pretty great space created for Keishi. It seems like they can just immediately decide to take down this objective for themselves.
Yup, and we can see right now for Navi PH, they will secure this turtle, and now it makes sense as to why Navi PH got the Grok. So because of the Grok, because of the passive also, she is not taken by those crowd controls. So we could see them here not hitting anyone from Navi PH.
Oh, but the wild charge! It still lands onto Nicolette, the Fury of the Phoenix, to just somehow help Nicolette get out of danger. But now we're seeing the complete opposite. It's Navi PH who's more confident to start things up.
And it's probably because of the mobility also of the heroes. You have the backsha for Keishi, a lot of vision for them. And at some parts of the game, even if Amore is up the middle lane, she's able to go in a team fight because of the hard card. So it's all about the movement speed. But it's not much of a lead for Navi PH. They just have to continue on forcing initiations from against Gaimin Gladiator. So there is Turret Destroyer at the top lane, and we have the wall. Sayor is forced to use the flicker, and even not Ayanami is being taken down at the bottom lane.
Oh, it seems like there are trades happening all over the map. Not Ayanami was taken down earlier in the bottom lane, as you mentioned. But Navi PH, it seems like they weren't successful in getting that trade onto Ashley. So Gaimin Gladiators are able to equalize, at least in terms of the skill score for now. But it doesn't change the fact the lead, the slight gold lead, it's still in Navi PH's hands.
Yeah, that's true. But I feel like for Gaimin Gladiators, they know how to do their trades because of their efforts to actually destroy a turret at the bottom lane. So Navi PH right now, they are somehow taking things slow because we somehow saw an aggression for them, but at the same time, they know the potential of the enemy team. So Mirai is up front of 3 players of the Gaimin Gladiators, but Arya has been shown around the map. So there's been a lot of folks in the bottom lane, but no one is forcing an unnecessary initiation. So it's more of the discipline that is being shown by both teams. But we see 2 players from Navi PH starting this turtle.
Oh, GG, they're still gonna go for it. But Keishi secures the turtle nonetheless. Black Dragon form is still on, and they are gonna go for Arya. But before they even get to take down Arya, surprisingly, Panda 1 gets executed as well in the other parts of the map. And they might try to go for converting into other structures for now. But this is a surprise. All over the map, Navi PH, it seems like they have a clear picture of how they're dominating this already.
And they're still continuing the aggression here at the purple pit. So we have Nicolette being taken down, but by not Ayanami and even Ashley. So I think the middle turret could be taken down also by Navi PH. Gaimin Gladiators is just somehow confused on how to counter-engage against Navi.
Yeah, this is clearly Navi PH knowing fully well that they have no reason to hold back. If you would look at that instant replay, this was just a few seconds after they got 2 kills, right? So they literally do not want Nicolette to perform the same way that she did earlier, and they're doing a great job at that. Nicolette right now is behind in terms of Keishi, even if it's just 1 level. This is a Lancelot we're talking about.
Yep, we'll really have to commend also the wild charge from Mirai. I think that millisecond of crowd control has been dealing a lot of, let's say, casualties against Gaimin Gladiators. And if we look at the gold lead, it is definitely Shinoa on the upper hand as compared to Panda 1. Hence that solo kill earlier at the bottom lane. So this is detrimental for Gaimin Gladiators. Also that the middle lane has been destroyed already because, Nicolette is being stopped in terms of the usual rotation that she does with the Lancelot.
And GG are yet to have their anti-heal. So the problem in terms of sustain for Navi PH, they still don't have a clear way to deal with it. Even though there is some damage from Panda 1 and Nicolette already, you need the anti-heal, you know? It's a backsha and a Grok and the usual.
Yeah. And given also the backsha, it has that innate, right? That Taurus Bussans, and look at the damage from Shinoa. So she forced Ashley actually to use that flicker, which is needed for that surprise one series. Now we see Navi PH securing this Lord, and 5.7k gold lead from the Filipino representatives. So even top lane could be destroyed anytime soon. Nicolette putting all efforts just to clear the minion wave, but there's an another minion wave at the top lane.
Yeah, there are a lot more minion waves that they have to take care of. The Heart Guard is being hovered on Shinoa, but they're most likely gonna be careful about this. They have a Lord that's gonna march down bottom. They want to, for sure, keep themselves alive, right? Like, they want to accompany this Lord in their attempt to make the most out of it and take away at least an inhibitor turret for Gaimin Gladiators if they can.
Yeah, just to be able to capitalize on this. But knowing that this is the current situation of the game, it is 10 minutes, yes, but for Gaimin Gladiators, they have the kit, they have a scaling hero, they just need to, as much as possible, defend this Lord. If they can. So, yup, Gaimin Gladiators, they are able to defend this Lord. We have the effort. We see the efforts of Nicolette at the middle lane just to cut the minion wave. So it means that the second tier turret at the middle lane will still be defended by GG. So nice efforts for her, but at the bottom lane, there's another layer of pressure coming in from Navi PH.
And it's indeed an inhibitor turret that they're after. Falling Star Moon committed by Aria, followed up by the Minoan Fury, but will the damage be enough? Because there's the wild charge, and there's the dive coming in from Ayanami. They immediately pick off Ashley and take that inhibitor turret. Nicolette, though, Thorngrove is committed, gets to dash away, Phantom Execution to escape. Oh my goodness.
6-1 for Navi PH, destroying the turret at the bottom lane and even probably securing this turret at the middle lane. Sayori, almost low on life. We have the players from the Philippines trying to somehow limit or take all resources against GG. So I think, it is really evident that for Nicolette, it is really hard to play up against a team that is more on the tanky side. Just imagine, this is up against the usual, up against the Baksha, and you also have the Angela. I mean, if they get enough items for Panda 1, or even have those stacks with the Sky Piercer, then they can. But the struggle here is that they can't even have a kill right now against Navi PH. Merely because of the idea that you have Mirai up front, even Baksha with a Heart Guard, and I think it would take some time for them to just have those items.
And it seems like time is very important for Navi PH because they also have the fleeting time. So imagine just how many Heart Guards we can potentially see from Navi PH if they're always able to get pickoffs together with the help of the Heart Guard. So this is going to be tough for Gaimin Gladiators. They have to keep themselves alive. They have to look for the damage. And they have to time their skills, their ultimates really well because we saw the intention, we saw the idea earlier. The Falling Star Moon and the Minoan Fury, it doesn't sound like a bad idea, but it has to be paired up with the right amount of damage.
So it's now, it's all about the timing now for Gaimin Gladiators, for the layer of the damage to be efficient against Navi PH. We saw 2 items being taken here by 2 players of Gaimin Gladiators. We have the Sea Halberd for Panda 1 and another defensive item for Ashley. So we could see a little Lord dance on this game. 30 minutes per game. There is going to be a reset. Keisha is just finding the players of Gaimin Gladiators. I'm not sure if Nicolette has been revealed at the middle lane. But I think this is it.
Finally gets revealed. And Shinoa is the first target for Gaimin Gladiators. The Heart Guard is used onto Mirai. Is this the right decision? But not Ayanami nonetheless. Gets to take down Panda 1. But still Nicolette is alive and well. This might just be an advantage for GG as they also find a way to target Keishi. Amor left alone, has the freedom of the battle execution in the third round.
You have 3 players down in Navi PH and Gaimin Gladiators starting this Lord. You only have Mirai and not Ayanami to try and reset. They have the wall, yes, but is it enough to actually delay the potential secure of the objective? Not Ayanami is shut down by the hands of Arya and even Mirai, the only player left because Shinoa just has been respawned and Gaimin Gladiators securing the Lord.
What a win for GG! Just as we thought Navi PH, they were at the clear advantage, just as we thought Gaimin Gladiators had so much to worry about in order to win a single team fight against Navi.
I mean, I think it all started when they were able to take down Shinoa in the middle of the team fight, and the rest was just history for Gaimin Gladiators. Lord will march in at the bottom lane. This is now the time for them, for those spike in terms of damage. Even Panda 1 is already at level 15, and it comes to a point that we reach game equilibrium. Now, for Gaimin Gladiators, they are now able to equalize the situation of the game. They need to capitalize on this anytime soon. There might be a dive from GG.
This feels like a different Nicolette now. This doesn't feel like the Nicolette who was constantly being invaded a few minutes ago. Navi PH have to deal with the Lord first before they actually do anything. But Nicolette seems like she wants to keep the pressure going. Damages Keishi every now and then, but it's a successful defense for now from Navi PH.
May I remind you that for Gaimin Gladiators, this is their second match for today. They went up against Navi MY during match 1, and they're playing up against another Navi team, this time around from the Philippines. So they are currently at 900, almost 1,000k, or 1,000k, 1,000 gold lead. Look at Keishi!
Oh no, the Fury of the Phoenix nearly caught up to Keishi, but now Chinoa is their second hard card for the middle, and Fury into the Phantom Execution takes her down, and Panda 1 gets the last hit. Another crucial pick on the damage dealer of Navi PH, but not Ayanami. Will she be successful in this attempt? It's a no!
Oh my goodness! 2 players down on this side of Navi PH. What a way to use that wing chant. Panda 1 is on fire. Somebody has to stop Panda 1, but the turn of the top lane has been destroyed. Gaimin Gladiators almost there in trying to stop Navi PH on defending the crown.
And this might just be it.
They're just waiting for another minion wave though.
They're just waiting. They're just counting down. Shinoa all alone. Will she be able to deal with the 2 minion waves that are marching towards their base? There goes that crossbow, but she gets immediately bursted down. And just like that, Gaimin Gladiators successfully eliminate Navi PH.
We started the day with 1 Navi down. And another Navi down as a Gaimin Gladiators. I gotta say, are they Navi?